May I come in?
Yes, come in, come in.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sit down, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Vishwesanand Arya.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Sir, Vishesh Anand Arya.
Eh?
Vishesh.
Vishesanand. Okay, Vishesanand Arya. I can see you are from Nalanda.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me some historical background of Nalanda, its importance, what it was?
Sir, one of the most important thing which it is famous for is Nalanda University. The Nalanda University. Second thing is it is also very famous for the Buddhism, as well as we can also see the
Yeah, but beyond that of course everybody knows that it was university and it was Buddhist center. So go a little bit beyond that.
Sir, apart from that, there is a place called Pavapuri, which is very sacred for Jainism because Lord Mahavira laid his last breath there. And apart from that, it was seen as the capital, the Bihar Sharif, it was seen as the capital of the Pala Empire. And various other study places like Udantpuri, it is in Nalanda.
When was Nalanda established and when was it demolished?
Sir, as far as I know, it was established around 5th century AD and it was abolished something around 11th century AD.
Who destroyed this university?
Sir, it was a Turkish chieftain, Bakhtiyar Khilji. He is the person who destroyed the Nalanda University.
And how many countries send their students to study at Nalanda? You know, these are the details you have to give when I ask you for Nalanda. That it was a great center of learning. The students came from all over the world. Name some countries. Give some names of some great scholars who were at Nalanda.
Sir, many countries like Indonesia, then Thailand and China. So a lot of different countries.
Give some famous names. There's some famous names who came to Nalanda. Who are...
Huan Sang was one of the famous person who there. And apart from that, Aryabhat, he was one of the head of Nalanda University. And he is also considered as a great mathematician.
Yeah, but then you said it was set up in the 5th century. Aryabhat was in the 4th century. So how did he come there? Tell me.
Sir, I think perhaps I was wrong.
I think you should read a little bit more on that, okay? Now, you are a student of political science.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how do we make a public policy? You understand what is public policy?
Policy for the welfare of public.
Public policy could be anything. It could be for welfare, it could be for anything else.
Yes.
Public policy, how do you make it? What is the process?
Sir, first of all, I think we would need the data about what are the issues regarding that policy, how it is going to be targeted. Second thing is, who are the stakeholders to which that policy will be benefiting. Third thing would be that the implementation mechanism, various pillars, how it will be implemented. Fourth is that we would require some sort of feedback.
Let's take an example. Your Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, he introduced prohibition policy. That was a public policy.
Yes.
How did he do? What are the steps he took? You go step by step.
Sir, first of all, there was a demand from the grassroots, especially the women. So that demand from the public was there. Second thing was that that policy was made, that how this policy can be implemented, prohibition, what are the different departments as well as...
Was it part of his election manifesto?
Sorry, sir, I'm not very much aware exactly.
Okay. Then?
So that policy was implemented and various ways in which how it will be affected, for example, excise or how the law and order, the legal laws which was passed for that. So these steps would be required. But I will have to say
more study. I think there is a very systematic way of making public policies. Many studies have been done on this. How do you make public policy? Okay. Now, this is your 7th attempt for the civil service. There must be something, some urge inside you, some motivation which is propelling you towards this. What is that? Why do you want to join civil service?
Sir, I think the civil services is a very dynamic services, and it provides this opportunity for personal as well as the professional growth. But at the same time, sir, I think as we have entered into this Amrit Kal and we aspire to become this Viksit Bharat, I also want to be a small cog in the larger wheel of this journey, sir. So that developmental aspect, for example, I come from Bihar, sir. So I feel that the administration, it can play an important role to improve the life of the people, and not just Bihar, but every part of the country where it is required. So that is one of the motivation which I have.
For example, tomorrow you are appointed as district collector in one of the, let's say, Nalanda district. What would you like to do as your priority to, improve? I don't want to specify, to improve everything in that district.
Sir, first of all, I think the employment aspect. I think if we talk about the Nalanda, there are many sectors, like it is agriculture-based economy. Apart from that, there is a huge scope in the tourism. So these two spheres can be focused upon to provide the employment. Second thing is, sir, the socio-economic development. For example, improvement in education, improvement in health infrastructure, as well as the conditions of women and other weaker section. So we need to focus upon that aspect so that the human development, human capital can be created.
Do you think that is all falls under the purview of district magistrate? DM can do all that? Okay, my last question to you is, name some at least 5 countries where Buddhism is prominently followed.
Sir, first would be Japan, second would be Bhutan, third would be, sir, Thailand, fourth would be South Korea, and fifth would be, sir, Sri Lanka.
Okay, Myanmar.
Yes, sir, Myanmar also.
South Korea is okay, they follow but not that large. Okay.
Okay, Vishwasanand, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
You're staying in Delhi?
Yes, sir.
For how long?
Sir, it has been 6-7 years I've been staying here.
So, and you originally belong to Bihar Sharif?
Yes.
Which of the two is better as far as quality of life is concerned?
Sir, overall, I would say that Delhi is perhaps more better, but Bihar Sharif also promises some extra thing. For example, cleaner air, less pollution, then more serene environment, more...
When we say quality of life, what does it include?
Sir, I think both materialistic as well as the spiritualistic, that aesthetic value, both of them are important. For example, Delhi offers a lot of great infrastructure as well as ease of living, but the pollution aspect or... so that aspect,
except for pollution and traffic congestion, Delhi seems to be much better than Bihar.
Yes, sir, it can be said.
These two things are taken care of then?
Yes, sir, it can be said that, and Delhi itself is the capital of whole India, so it does provide better opportunities.
Okay. What do you understand by decentralized governance?
So decentralized government basically means that governance at the grassroots, where the people themselves take part in the governance matter. For example, we can take the example of the Panchayati Raj or the urban local bodies, and even that principle of subsidiarity, that is wherever that policy can be worked, it should be working from there. So bottom up approach basically.
So we have this system, Panchayati Raj and municipalities.
Yes.
Is it working well?
Sir, it is working well in certain areas, and it is working well in certain sectors, but more improvement is required, sir.
Why it is not working well in certain areas? What are the deficiencies?
Sir, one of the main reason is the issues with the fund, function and functionaries. So these three things. Apart from that, more training can be provided at the grassroots, and clear demarcation of what they can do, more devolution of power from the state government. I think these are the reasons where...
Delhi government economic survey was there just 3 days back. What are the highlights?
Sir, I will have to look into it. I was not able to.
Okay, tell me 4 or 5 common birds of Delhi. No interest in birds, trees and all?
Sir, I do have a little bit interest, but I'm at the...
birds, common birds?
Pigeon is there, then crows are there, and sometimes I also see, especially in the outer areas, the sparrows. So I think these three which is coming to my mind, sir. And Maina, sir, fourth would be Maina.
As an individual, what all you can do to mitigate the effects of climate change? Just 4 or 5 points you tell me.
Sir, first thing is there is this life initiative where an individual's role to make sure that materialism is decreased and more balanced, that the ideal of Gandhiji, that Sada Jivan Uch Vichar, that is simple life and high ideals.
Count 4 or 5 things which you should do. And
First would be using more and more public transport like metro.
Okay.
Second thing is that, for example, making sure that more efficient equipments are used, and even when those equipments are not in use, we should stop it. So fourth would be, sir, that we need not to go for a lot of materialism, but that balanced life, it is something which is very much required.
what is RRR? Heard of this RRR?
I think this is a movie also, RRR.
No, I'm not talking about that movie.
Yes, sir. Recycle, reduce, and
Reuse.
yes, sir.
reuse, recycle. So are you following it in your life?
Sir, reduce aspect is there, and for recycle, sir, I don't have that institutional aspect, but if there is provision, I would go for that recycling. And reuse aspect, I also do use, and I think in Indian family, a lot of reuse do happen.
Thank you.
Okay. Vishishanand. There are so many smart cities declared. Bihar, how many smart cities are there?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware about exact number, but Bihar Sharif, the district headquarter, it is one of the smart cities.
Which is the district headquarters?
Bihar Sharif of Nalanda district.
Bihar Sharif of Nalanda district is a smart city. Yes. How it is smart? What are the smart features and what are not so smart?
So various initiative is being taken to make it a smart city. For example, the control center which is being provided to basically coordinate various traffic aspects. Second thing is that
Traffic has been integrated.
so that project has been initiated, but it is in work.
Okay. Second.
Second thing is, sir, there is this place, Ramchandrapur, where is Sabji Mandi aspect is there. So that more logistic control is being provided. Then there are various projects like focusing upon public parks, then overbridge.
Is there a waste management system, solid waste management system?
Sir, I'm not very aware of.
Okay, we will move ahead. Decriminalization of Indian politics, especially in Bihar, it is very important. What are the steps you can take with reference to Election Commission, People's Representation Act, election funding, and criminal nexus? That means muscleman, mafia, money, influences. First thing, Election Commission.
Sir, from Election Commission's point of view, I think it has already started that the criminal antecedent, it is to be furnished. But if there is a charge sheet, it can be done that perhaps that person should not be allowed for the election. So that would be the one aspect.
Second, People's Representation Act.
In People Representation Act, some change would be required to implement that.
What are the changes you want to make?
To make that even if a person who is charge sheeted, he or she would not be allowed to
contest election. Okay, third, election funding.
Sir, I think partial state funding can be a way forward. Some reform already after the Supreme Court judgment, which has effect regarding the electoral bond. It is also there, but more alternative to provide a new venues. For example, more and more digital public infrastructure for the electoral funding. So more option to ensure the right to information.
A transparent funding system, state funding system. Okay. Musclemen and the mafia and the criminals nexus, and even bureaucratic nexus is there sometimes.
So first thing which can be done is that fast track courts, which can, if there is some politician who is affected by allegation, so fast track court to solve the issue, so that if they are acquitted, they can go for the election. But if they are charged, then they would be prohibited from taking election.
What you know by digital highway?
Sorry, sir, I will have to look more into it.
When is 6G likely in India rollout?
Sir, Bharat 6G is in place, and at the moment the research and development aspect is there. So I think in the next decade or so.
Okay, very good. And 6G, if we move from 5G to 6G, what are the challenges? 1 or 2?
So first thing would be that the research and development, and second thing would be that we are dependent upon a lot of resources from the import dependencies there, so that Atmanirbharta would be required.
Okay. So,
okay, Vishesh Anand, we started our discussion with Nalanda University, okay? But during that time, there were many great universities in India, no? Vikramshila was another in Bihar, which was in Bihar, and Takshila. These were the famous ones, but there were many of them. Vallavi University and all that, no? So, and we have a new education policy also, NEP, new education policy, which was implemented last year. So, could you think of some of the similarities which are there in the education system which was there in those universities and in the new education policy? Okay. And what else you will like that the learning from those universities could have been taken for the new education policy?
So if we talk about the similarity, I think that holistic development, which is the main purpose of education, I think it is there in both in the ancient system as well as the new education policy. It is talking about that both science as well as humanities, that must be integrated. Second thing is that more vocational, focus upon the vocational education, so that skill is also provided for that the normal, so that the skill is provided and more productive students can come out of
functional literacy.
Functional literacy. And sir, third thing is that there's a flexibility. For example, the new education policy, it talks about that multiple entry, multiple exit, or that creditization. So that flexibility aspect, I think even in the ancient time, that flexibility aspect was there.
These were the similarities.
Yes, sir. But one thing which I would like to incorporate, I think more value-based education, it can be provided in our school. I think it is a need of the hour.
Good, very good. So let's move to something which is the topic of your more recent learning, which is political science. I think you are reading this subject for the last 6 years or so?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the very well-established theories is that informal networks, we are talking of political science, okay? Informal networks are very important. You also talked about capital, okay? Human capital and all that. So in that respect, informal networks between groups, people are very important, okay? And Robert Putnam, which is one of a very famous political scientist, he wrote a book in which he compared Northern Italy with Southern Italy. He said that Northern Italy is rich because it has a lot of informal networks, football clubs and all that. Whereas Southern Italy, which is Sicily, okay, doesn't have any. Okay. So in that respect, the condition of Bihar with Southern Italy is very similar. So what can you do actually so that these informal networks could be developed in Bihar? Okay, given that class and caste differences and animosities and conflicts are very high there.
Sir, I think three things which is coming to my mind. First thing is that we must make sure that self-help group, it can be promoted, because it will lead to women empowerment, more employment opportunity, and even Honorable Prime Minister have talked about.
Okay, self-help groups have been there for the last 2 decades, more than 2 decades.
Bihar is doing much better than other states.
Yes, sir.
Bihar is, yeah.
And second would be, sir, cooperatives.
But then why it is not happening? Cooperatives also have failed. Cooperative movement started in Bihar, but it failed. What should you do actually? These are things which have already been done, have not actually improved the situation of Bihar.
Sir, I think if we talk about cooperatives, it is true that Bihar has been doing some initiative, taking some initiative like Sudha. But at the same time, I think if we linked cooperatives with the agricultural sector,
Kumar, agriculture sector is for the last, I think, 6 decades. The first cooperative in India. A very, very formal cooperative, fully funded by the government. Okay, गांधी मैदान के पास देखो इतना बड़ी बिल्डिंग है उसकी, तो उतनी बड़ी बिल्डिंग तो किसी सरकार की नहीं होती है.
So more basically, people must be made more aware so that they participate.
Political scientist की तरह बोलो. चलो सोच लेना इस पे, ठीक है? Okay. Now your engineering subject was electronics and telecom. So we were talking about 5G and 6G, you know. Let me now ask you a basic question. We have this CDMA technology versus GSM technology. Okay. Which technology, CDM or GSM, will be able to fully utilize the potential of 5G? CDMA or GSM?
Sir, I will have to look into it.
Okay, good. Please.
Visheshanand, very good morning. So you have given your area of interest or hobbies as Western classical music. So can you name some?
Sir, one of my favorite artists is Chopin and Bach.
Oh,
Others?
great.
And apart from them, Beethoven is there, Mozart is there, then Gustav Mahler, Vivaldi, a lot of different artists are there.
Okay, and with respect to science fiction movies, what is that science fiction that you think it is going to happen in the near future?
Sir, I think many aspects would be there. I think more interplanetary exploration, then positive uses of artificial intelligence, then even these new upcoming technologies like Neuralink, which is that symbiotic relation between machine and man. I think these are the few things which in future we can explore.
What implications will this Gaganyaan have on the space exploration?
Sir, I think it is one of the starting aspect, and after that we have planned for sending Indians on moon and even further beyond. So it basically opens that. Second thing is, sir, that it also provide this curiosity as well as scientific temper to the young population, and it will basically inspire a lot of people. So I think these two things. Apart from that, various technologies which will be developed, I think it will have application on multiple other sectors. So I think these three things would be very important.
Okay. So coming to the other current affairs with respect to the upcoming criminal laws. So there has been talk about increasing police custody, duration of police custody. So what do you think about it?
Sir, that the number of days it has increased, I think if I'm able to recall correctly, from 60 to 90 days. So I think it will also provide more time for the police for investigation, but at the same time there is apprehension for perhaps some misuse, but I don't think in that way, but I think more time for the police would be there. And I think we do have a fair and independent institution to curb any misuse if it is possible.
Okay. So and one more question about Bihar. Bihar is one of the largest recipients of the central funds, tax devolution. So let's say a person from South might ask you, we have adopted a different model of development, we have achieved good revenues, but why didn't you vote for such development? And why should we wait for you?
Sir, I think there are multiple things into this. First of all, based on a recent newspaper report which I read, the contribution for both Bihar as well as southern state, they are getting less than the tax which they are doing. But at the same time, it is also true that a lot of southern states are their fund is being gone into this other states of north. But at the same time, I think the holistic developmental of India, we should not see from the lens of one or other, because development of Bihar, it will be good for.
Let's say what UP is doing, it could have done 30 years back, when AP was doing, when Tamil Nadu was doing, or Karnataka was doing.
Sir, it is true, but it is perhaps never late to start. So UP has started, so it's a step in a good direction. And I even think that India is a one country, and we also see that people of UP and Bihar, they would basically, they will give a lot of their contribution in the southern state, whether as the blue collar job or the highly skilled job. So I think that the spirit of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat should be taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all the best.
Wish you good luck. You will do very well.